Hey everybody. I don't know why it's commonly associated the recreational vehicle as associated with the AARP and those people. Driving, using, renting, owning a recreational vehicle is a very fun thing to do, and especially if you're in your 20s. I don't know why. Well, maybe because money, but it's an enormous good time, especially when you can split costs amongst your friends and enjoy each other's camaraderie as you make your way across the country or wherever it is that you're going. But me and my friends, again, I grew up in Orlando. We rented a big honkin' RV. This is not the kind of the van with the thing with the top on the back, but like an actual like bus RV. And we drove to Key West. And just so you know, I just got back from Key West 2 days ago. Flew down there with the now fiance. Made the proposal down there. So thank you. Not trying to endear myself to the crowd and try to raise my points, but I got to try something. I haven't won one of these yet, and I've been doing this from the beginning. So, but anyway, somebody brought up one's youth and the importance of that. And I was in my 20s when I rented a RV with my brother and a bunch of friends and their girlfriends, and we drove to Key West. And you know, you can tell a college student, but you can't tell him much. And you know, as this guy is trying to give us the briefing of all the different features of the RV before we get started. Here's how you do this. Yeah, got it. Here's how you do this. Yeah, sure, no problem. And because we just wanted to get going. And we did. We got on the road and took turns driving. And, you know, it was just grin from ear to ear. And, of course, as we passed other RVs and mooned them, you know, the older people were kind of like a little bit upset with one of these young guys doing an RV. And that included the time when we got to the RV campground. Now, we stayed at Sigsbee's Point, which is a Navy facility down there in Key West. And it has its year-round campground with retirees, military retirees that own their RVs. And we pulled into the campground, and it wasn't long after a couple of days where one of the things you have to do is you have to empty the lavatory tank. And now, for those of you eating, forgive me, but it's a relatively simple and supposed to be hands-free process where basically you hook a hose up to this valve and you secure the hose and you run the hose into some tank in the ground, and then you pull a plunger. You know, relatively clean, simple operation. When it's done, it's done. And then you refill it with water and blue chemicals, and that's that. Well, I had worked at the airport where I used to do essentially same thing on airplanes, giant jets that, you know, come in from around the world. And of course, the last thing you want to do is take a blue shower when you're under one of these airplanes. So you got to be doing this really carefully. And I knew how to do it, so I said, listen to my friends, I'll handle that aspect of the trip and the job. I'll do that because I do that anyway, and I don't want anything to go wrong. But my one friend just was jazzed. He was like, no, I want to do it. I'm like, are you sure? It's really not a big deal. No, that's really cool. I guess, you know, in his suburban life at 21 years old, he had no previous experience. That was a thrill for him. So I'm like, whatever. And in this particular case, we had to maneuver the vehicle right over a manhole cover in the center of the ground and pull this plate up, and then that's where the hose went. And I was in the driver's seat since I drove, and he went outside all, you know, Mr. Johnny on the spot. And he goes to hook up the thing, the hose, and pull the plunger, and I hear, and I mean, this thing is now spewing stuff all under the street. I mean, it's everywhere, and everything. You could tell what we had to eat, the whole bit. I mean, it's everywhere, you know. And I'm like, come on, get in, let's just go, come on, you know. Like we've committed the crime of the century, you know. And so he's like, of course, you know, his ankles, his shoes are ruined. They're blue now. And he gets in, throws the shoes out, and we drive along, and we think, oh, thank God, you know. What we didn't realize, though, was this angry torch-wielding mob of retirees in their RVs saw us do this and chased us down the street in their RVs, right? So I was inadvertently leading a convoy of RVs, you know, because we pulled up to, I don't know, the commissary or the PX or something, and we were surrounded. I mean, like blocked in on all sides by RVs, you know, with this lynch mob. And they're like, you need to go back there and clean that stuff up. And we're like, what are you talking about? So we ended up buying brooms, you know, like push brooms and stuff, and from the hardware store. And we went out there with a hose and, gathered everything together and got it to go into the little manhole cover. And, it's been 22 years since that event, and it's the one thing that, as many things have passed in the meantime, that me and my friend talk about is, you remember that time in Key West with the lavatory? It's, I'm telling you, go camping today or take a road trip. It's worthwhile. That's all I have.